This fourth video in the series of posts from the lessons learned from the leadership book, The 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, a Leadership Fable, is about the issue of the avoidance of accountability. We have discussed in our video on trust how it is the foundation of adapting your team's culture to transform it into a model of excellence team. And in our video on fear of conflict, we explored how high-performing teams are not afraid to engage in passionate dialogue around issues and decisions that are critical to the organization or the mission. And in the video on the lack of commitment, we shared how organizations of all shapes and sizes need better buy-in around objectives and deliverables. Let's now explore the fourth dysfunction of a team, avoidance of accountability. The fourth dysfunction is an avoidance of accountability among team members. In the context of teamwork, it refers specifically to the willingness of team members to call their peers on their performance or behaviors that might hurt the team and prevent the team from achieving overall mission success. At the heart of avoidance of accountability is the unwillingness of team members to tolerate the interpersonal discomfort that accompanies calling a peer on his or her behavior. Of course, there is also the more general tendency to avoid difficult conversation. Members of Model of Excellence teams overcome these natural inclinations, opting instead to enter the danger with one another. The basic premise of a Model of Excellence team is that most organizations have separate teams responsible for various departments. That's how silos end up. These teams are motivated but related, but they have different problem sets that create natural tension between those who deliver change and those who are incentivized to maximize service availability and hence prevent change along with other obvious threats. One of the best ways to make it easier for your team members to hold one another accountable is to clarify publicly exactly what the team needs to achieve, who needs to deliver what, and how must everyone behave in order to succeed. For most organizations, the definition of success or failure is vague or undefined, which can lead to a team not having a clear set of expectations that they can hold one another accountable to. As a leader, it's imperative to take the time to define what success looks like, what it sounds like, and it feels like, to create a culture of accountability in the process. In order to create this sort of culture, team members should regularly and consistently communicate the metrics about how they think and feel their teammates are doing against stated objectives and standards. The enemy of accountability is ambiguity. Another aspect of your team that needs to be clearly articulated is the separation of duties and roles and responsibilities of those on your team. Your organization is not and cannot be reduced to a singular role. If anything, it's more about the makeup of the teams than the individual roles. Here are 3 things that are the skills that you need to have a Model of Excellence team and to serve on it. 1, they can communicate with more than their middle finger. 2, his or her concerns span your entire organization, not just their silo or their department. And 3, they must have an understanding of the business, the mission, and the customers internally and externally that they must support. Really? Did you not realize that your sales department and service department are internal customers to one another? Well, they are. As your organizational initiative takes shape, part of the learning process should be to clearly document these new required skills and roles, what the expectations and dependencies are, and any critical performance indicators that you want to achieve as a team. However, to make this work and to avoid team dysfunction, leaders have to be willing to set the example, model the behavior they expect, confront the difficult issues and the crucial conversations, and demand personal accountability from all of their team members and the leadership. Each of the dysfunctions and the fixes to the dysfunction requires time and commitment. There's going to be situations where you're going to miss the mark. That's to be expected. When you're creating a Model of Excellence team, it takes time and the willingness and openness to learn lessons from your mistakes. And once the lesson's learned, though, don't make the mistake again. Eventually, the concept, be it development of trust, fear of conflict, or lack of commitment, will be resolved, and the best practices will become part of your team culture, giving the team more autonomy and the leaders more time to focus on pressing issues. Now, in our next video, we will discuss the final dysfunction, which is about organizational results.